All right, let's talk about anger. We all know that feeling, right? It can feel like this fire inside that just burns and burns for hours, maybe even days. But what if I told you that the actual biological lifespan of anger is only 90 seconds? Get this, anything after that is something you're choosing to do.
It's a fair question, isn't it? If the real chemical reaction is over and done within a minute and a half, then why do we stay so mad? How can one little comment from someone or a person cutting you off in traffic totally derail your entire day? It feels like it's completely out of our hands.
And this is the core idea we're going to unpack right now. After that first biological flash, that anger continuing is not automatic. It's a choice. And you know what? Understanding that you have a choice, that's the key to getting a handle on your emotional world. So how do we find that choice?
First things first, let's look at what's actually going on inside your body and your brain during that first crucial window. And just to be clear, this isn't some self-help theory. This is straight-up neurology. This is the number. You gotta burn this one into your brain, 90 seconds. That is the scientifically measured time it takes for the stress chemicals, the stuff that literally creates the physical feeling of anger, to get triggered, flood your system, and then be completely flushed out. It's a totally automatic physical process. So let's just walk through it. It all starts with a trigger. Let's say someone cuts you off. Your brain immediately slams the panic button, flooding your body with stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. That's what you feel. Your heart racing, your face getting hot. But here's the cool part. Your body is incredibly efficient. It gets to work right away cleaning that stuff up. And within about 90 seconds, it's all gone, flushed out. The physical event is literally over. Okay, so if the chemicals are gone, how on earth do we keep that fire burning for so long? Well, funny enough, we do it by making toast. Let's break down what that awesome metaphor actually means. Making toast is just a simple way of saying you're putting another piece of bread in the toaster. See, every angry thought you have, every time you replay the event in your head, every story you tell yourself about what happened, that's another slice of bread. And every single time you pop that bread in the toaster, you re-trigger that 90-second chemical flush. You start the countdown all over again, and again, and again. So what does a piece of toast actually sound like in our heads? Well, it's a story script. The car that cut you off is long gone, but you pick up this internal script and you start reading from it. That jerk, he did that on purpose. He saw me right there. People have no respect. Every single one of those sentences sends a brand new signal to your brain that says, hey, the threat is still here. Send more chemicals. And your brain obliges. But why are we so quick to grab that story and start making more toast? Well, it's because anger is rarely what it seems on the surface. It's usually playing a very specific role, and is hiding something that feels a lot more vulnerable. Think about it this way. On the outside, what we show the world is anger. It feels strong, it feels powerful, it's protective. It's like a big, tough security guard. But on the inside, the emotion we're really feeling is often something much softer, like hurt or fear, or just feeling vulnerable. Anger is just the armor we put on to protect that soft spot. I want you to really picture this, because it's a game changer. Your anger is that muscular security guard. He's standing there with his arms crossed, looking all intimidating, just trying to keep everyone away. But his entire job is just to protect what's behind that door. And behind the door? That's the real reason you're upset. It's that feeling of being disrespected, or unseen, or just plain hurt. Okay, so we've got the biology, we've got the psychology. Now let's get to the most important part. How do we actually use this information? How do we stop making toast and finally take back control? Well, it is all about finding something called the choice point. This quote from Viktor Frankl just nails it perfectly. The stimulus, that's the person cutting you off. The automatic response, that's the 90-second flush. Our power, our freedom, it all lives in creating just a little bit of space between those two things. And in that tiny space, we find our ability to choose. So how do we create that space? We do it by activating what you could call your observer self. This is simply the part of your consciousness that can take a step back and just notice. It's the part that can watch those anger chemicals flood your body and think, interesting, anger is happening. Instead of getting lost in, I am so angry. It's like watching the storm from inside without getting wet. So here's how we put it into practice. Step by step, it's super simple. First, just start to notice that feeling. The heat rising in your chest, your shoulders tensing up. That's the flush beginning. Second, and this is crucial, just take one single deep, conscious breath. That one breath is often all it takes to create that space we're talking about.
Third, from that new space, activate your observer self. Just watch the physical feeling. And fourth, from that place of watching, now you can choose. You can let the 90 seconds just pass without adding a story.
And this brings us to one last and honestly incredibly empowering way to reframe all of this. What if all the people and situations that trigger us weren't just random annoyances? What if they were actually opportunities?
So that person who just cut you off in traffic, they aren't your enemy. Nope, they're your emotional personal trainer. They just gave you a free chance to practice noticing the flush, taking a breath, and finding your choice point. Every single trigger becomes another rep at your emotional gym, and it makes you stronger every single time.
So the next time you feel that flash of anger start to bubble up, I want you to remember this. You have a choice. You can let it pass like a wave, or you can start making toast. Your next trigger is coming. That's a guarantee. But it's not a threat anymore, is it? It's a chance to practice. The only question is, how are you going to use your 90 seconds?